Welcome back to another episode of Mama with the Good Hair, and I am your host Jessica, and thank you so much for being here. We are in our second part of talking all about dry shampoo. Before we get started, make sure you check out our Facebook group where we do exclusive giveaways. We talk about all things hair transformations, hair tips and tricks. It's basically like this podcast, but with the community with it, and a lot of giveaways and free stuff on there. So the link will be in the show notes on how to join. Make sure you get involved in that as well. I feel like dry shampoo has been such a hot topic in the beauty industry. Some people are so opinionated on both sides. Either you need to use it all the time, use it religiously. I see people talking on TikTok about 10 days, greasy hair, using dry shampoo like a whole bottle. And then I see the other side of the spectrum where people say dry shampoo is the devil. You should never use it. I'm of the opinion you need to use it to fit your lifestyle. Sometimes it's a necessity, but you need to use it knowing all the facts and how to use it the right way while you're still being safe and taking into account your hair health. There's so many dry shampoos that have been recalled to having literally petroleum, benzene, and different carcinogenics in it that are linked to cancer. It seems like there's a new list every single year that comes out with a whole list of dry shampoos with these toxic ingredients in it. So just make sure you know what you're using when you pick a dry shampoo. I use one that actually conditions your scalp and has oils infused in it that promotes hair growth rather than causing it, and all those nasty ingredients in it. Think back, that classic 90s thing that everyone would do where you take a can of hairspray, you have a lighter next to it, and you basically make a flame torch. That is what you don't want going on your hair. With the most recent recall just a few months ago, I think, here's some of the brands. So they're very well-known brands, and you kind of wouldn't expect it from them. They include Dove, Nexus, Suave, TIGI, Tresemme, and Bedhead. So these are brands that you think are reputable, but you just never know, and you really need to do a deep dive into your ingredients to make sure you're not putting that bad gunk on your scalp. And I don't know if you heard me say that a minute ago, but dry shampoo can actually cause hair loss if you're not using it correctly and if you're using a bad dry shampoo. So you want to make sure to, like I said, check those ingredients. And when you do wash your hair, make sure you're removing all that buildup. Like we talked about in the last episode, you're going to want to do a really deep clean. When you use dry shampoo, when you either overuse it or don't wash well, it causes the hair follicles to clog up, and that's not a good place for hair to grow. Think of your scalp like the soil and your hair like the plants that you're growing, like a garden. If you don't have good soil, the plant's not going to grow. So if your hair follicle in your scalp is all clogged up, dry shampoo particles, just everything like built up on your scalp, it's not a good place for hair to grow. So I know I'm saying all this, but I do actually love dry shampoo, but I use it more as a volume and texture and kind of in between washes, but not as like a daily fix. So one of my favorite hacks to do is if you have blown out your hair, but you're ready to go to bed, or maybe it's your day 2 hair and you want it to have extra volume the next day, put your hair either up in a claw clip or a high ponytail, spray the roots with some dry shampoo, don't rub it in, go to sleep, and then the next morning when you let your hair out, all that dry shampoo will have soaked in and give you major volume. But you want to make sure you're using this as like a hack for a good hair day rather than using this every single day as a band-aid. In our first part, I talked about how I would use dry shampoo after my cheer practices because my hair was always so sweaty after a workout. You're probably the same way if you have sweaty hair after the gym and you use dry shampoo as a fix for that. Here's what I do instead. I actually use an apple cider vinegar rinse. So the same one that I talked about before that I use in the shower, I put it in a spray bottle and keep that spray bottle in my gym bag. So after I'm done, I separate in like this and spray my roots with the apple cider vinegar rather than the dry shampoo. Let it either dry on its own, air dry, brush it through, or I'll hit it quickly with just a blow dryer on cool air. And it takes away all the sweat. What it does is it cleans up your scalp and just gets rid of all that nasty gunk and sweat and dirt and everything that's built up in your hair. And so you actually don't even need the dry shampoo if you're using the apple cider vinegar as a spray instead. It's a really cool hack. you should go try it out. So I talk a lot about apple cider vinegar. It's an amazing ingredient for your hair. It's why we've been using it for centuries. We use it as a clean ingredient to clean our house. We use apple cider vinegar in everything. It balances out the pH levels of your scalp. It's antibacterial. I use it as a scrub. That's kind of like my first shampoo. And then I use it as a rinse between my shampoo and condition. And it really just helps get rid of all the gunk in your hair without irritating your scalp. And that is the end of our 2-part series all about dry shampoo. I hope you learned some things. I hope you know what to look for, what to use as an alternative, how to fit dry shampoo in your lifestyle without overusing it and using it as a band-aid. Remember, balance is key in everything. And if you feel like you need some help with any underlying hair problems, I do offer free hair consults. Just go to my website, mamawiththegoodhair.com, and don't forget to join our Facebook group for exclusive giveaways and extra hair tips and just everything that you could find in the podcast plus more. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week.